welcome back to another video. This week I want to show you how to make these pumpkin keychains. You can do with the leaf or without a keychain. Personally, I think these are super cute and I am making them for my market this weekend, so I want to show you how to make these cute little pumpkin keychains. So let's get started. Okay, so to make this pumpkin keychain, of course you're going to need yarn, and I'm using Bernette blanket yarn in the colors Carrot Orange, and for the stem I'm using brown and Baby Sun. For the stem I do not have a Bernette blanket that is the proper color green, so I'm using Big Twist Posh, which is actually a weight 5, and I'm not sure where the color is. Oh, bok choy. So I am using a 5mm crochet hook for the green because it is a weight 5, and I'm going to be using a 7mm crochet hook for this year. Then of course you're going to need a sewing needle and a stitch marker, a little bit of stuffing because it's tiny, you don't need much. So let's get started. So for round 1, let me find my end here. We're going to be doing a magic circle. So for magic circle, you're going to take the yarn, loop it over your fingers like that, stick your crochet hook through, and pull up a loop like that. Then you're just going to chain 1 just so that it holds. Now we're going to be doing 8 single crochets into this magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So then to pull the magic ring closed, you're going to take your tail here and try to crochet. I usually crochet a little bit loosely around here just so that it pulls tight. There we go. You gotta pull that tight. Then I go and I will count back 8 stitches, so 2, 4, 6, 8, just to make sure I'm in the proper hole and make sure I actually have the proper amount of stitches. And then we are going to put 2 single crochets in each hole around. So you're going to do an increase stitch the whole way around. So that was 2. Always put your stitch marker back in so that you know where the beginning of your round is. And put 2 stitches in each hole the rest of the way around. Okay, so now that the rest of the way back around, you should have 16 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and count them with you. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. So for the next 2 rounds, you're just going to put 1 in each hole. So just do that for the next 2 rounds. And make sure to put your stitch marker in so that you know where the beginning of your round is. So just continue to do that the next 2 rounds. Okay, so if you did not flip it inside, if it's still inside out, make sure to flip it right side out because we are going to be doing the last round. So for the last round, we're just going to be decreasing. If you do not know how to, I usually do an invisible decrease, and if you do not know how to do that, I will show you here. So instead of grabbing like both loops here, we're just going to grab just the front one on each hole here, grab a stitch, and pull through like that. Remember to put your stitch marker back in. And where I'm going to show you again, just grab the first front loop on here, on both stitches, pull through, and do a single crochet. So do that for the rest of the way around. Alright, you should have 8 stitches left, and then I'm just going to take my stitch marker out, slip stitch into this one, and cut my yarn. I had to go find my scissors, so I'm back here. Alright, so just do the slip stitch and pull the yarn through, pull it tight. So you're finished with the main pumpkin. So now I'm going to take our little bit of stuffing and stuff this. I usually don't stuff it too hard, just a little bit. A little bit more stuffing here. And I usually, when you're adding stuffing, I try to make it so that it looks even the whole way around. And then we're going to take our needle and sew through just the front loop the whole way around. And pull it tight. Now for the pumpkins, to make them flat instead of so pointed, I will stick my needle down through on the bottom, and I usually go back up the center. Oh dear. Let me rethread my needle here. So go back up through the center. And sometimes I'll do that again. If that does not look like enough, I think it looks about right. And maybe I'll sew back down through to keep it tight. That should be good now. So then I will just snip it. And then you can leave a little bit of tail there. We are going to be, well, I usually just stick this back in. If it will go here. There we go. Now we are going to need our brown yarn for the stem. So to make the stem, I usually don't go right in the center. I'll go right beside the center, catch a loop here, and then I'll do a slip stitch, and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll slip stitch back into, you skip that one stitch right there, and go back, slip stitch into the next 3. So it was 1, 2, and 3. Now catch a loop over here, pull slip stitch into that, give myself a little bit of a tail, and pull my tail through, right like that. Now all I have to do is sew in these ends. I usually will just sew them down through here. And I'm going to knot them just to make sure they stay fastened together, because you wouldn't want the stem coming loose. Snip it. Just snip a little bit more off here. And stuff this back in. Now if you want to add a leaf, you're going to take your green yarn And if you're using the same weight yarn as the brunette, and you're gonna have to use a bigger hook and maybe make this a little bit smaller, but I'm using a size 5 yarn, so it's gonna get a lot bigger if you use brunette blanket. So, again, let me show you. I'm gonna do a magic ring. You cross it over your fingers like this. Grab this loop here and chain, and then we're going to do a single crochet, half double crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. And then we're going to do like a pointy peacock stitch at the top, so you're going to chain 2 and skip that first one and do a slip stitch back into the very first chain, and then we're going to go ahead and do another single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull this tight. And you got your leaf. Now I'm going to do a slip stitch. I'll cut my yarn, pull this through. Now to get this here string, instead of sewing this on, I'm just going to tie it on. So this here string, I go and bring it up through this here stitch over here. That way there's one coming out on each side of the leaf like that. Then you're going to take your pumpkin, figure out where you want to put your leaf, and I'm going to stick my crochet hook through, pull the yarn back through, and do that with the other string, like that. And then I'm just going to knot these ends over here. And knot them like that. And then I'll cut these off. And you can either use a sewing needle and sew them down in, which is what I'm going to do. Cut them kind of short. Maybe I'll just stuff them in with the scissors. And voila, you have a pumpkin.